Hey, everybody. There are so many businesses that try to grow their organization by going to networking events, which is really smart. But they tend to make two huge mistakes when they go. And there are four secrets that they need to know to be more effective at networking events. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with the two things that people do wrong at networking events. And I find in almost everyone I've ever gone to, these two things happen. And I know people talk about it, but they're wrong. There's a mistake being made, and those two things are looking for referrals, and trying to sell to the group. How can looking for referrals be wrong? It's a networking group. That should be part of the idea. How can it be wrong to try to sell to the group? I mean, if you're a business to business person, then it makes sense to try to sell at the networking group. If you sell individual items like insurance, right, then it would make sense to try to sell to the networking group. But I'm going to argue it's a mistake. Let's look at them one at a time. The first mistake is settling for referrals. Referrals are inconsistent. So when you go to a networking group and the goal is to look for a referral, it's an inconsistent revenue stream. You're only going to get revenue from that item when people happen to mention your name. There's a better way, a more profit growth way. I'll show you in a moment. The second mistake I mentioned about networking groups is when people go in try to sell to the group. You should be trying to sell through the group, not to the group. Here's what it means to sell through the group, not to the group. To sell to a group means I'm going to stand in front of the group, tell them what it is I have to offer, and hope that they buy the product. It's short sighted. Because if you do that, then at the end of the day, you made a sale. Well, that's good. Some of us would just like to make a sale, but it's not the long term plan for real profit growth. Instead, what you want to be able to do is sell through the group. You want to turn that group into your best and cheapest, because they're free, salespeople. And there's some very specific tactics you can use to be able to make that happen. So let's talk about the four things you should be doing at every networking event. Four things you should be doing. The first one is you need to be looking to set up a one on one with at least one person. Meaning, find one person from the group who may or may not be connected to what it is you do, and just ask to get together for coffee with them. Common one I do is try to set up a time, maybe the next time that networking group gets together, see if they're available right after that group, because you're already there anyway. You can just go ahead and connect. But set up a one on one with at least one person in every networking group. Now, if you have a one on one with someone in a networking group, what should you focus on? And the answer, quite simple, is knowing the person. We tend to prefer to do business with people we know, like, and trust. And too many people try to move straight to the trust conversation. First, I have to know you and I have to like you before we can build trust. So get together with someone, figure out their life story. And there's some simple ways to do this. You could use what we've talked about in other videos with the 1-3-1 method, but another one, quite simply, is to ask them what they do, why they got into it, and what the greatest joys and challenges they have in that. By doing so, you're going to learn a lot about that person, and it opens up more and more opportunities, not to sell your product to them, but to know them. So, the first thing you should be doing at networking events is try to find one person, at least one person at every networking event to get together with one on one. Second thing you should be looking for. Second thing, at every networking event, you should be looking for one person to give a referral to. Now, I just said a moment ago referrals are problematic. Not by themselves. One of the greatest resources you have at your disposal is people. You know people. And so to be able to give a referral to someone else says that you're part of the team with these people. Know, like, and trust. It will help them like you and trust you, as they should if your heart is for the people you're interacting with. So as you scan the room, as people stand up and give their elevator pitches, it is wise to be able to sit there and go, man, who is someone I know that I could do this for? Now, There's two ways to do this. The first way is for you to go to your person that you know and say, hey, you should contact this business owner here. The other way to do it, and it's actually a way I would recommend more often, is contact the person you want to have the referral and say, hey, I know a guy who does this item. Oh, I know you talked about the other day having some bug issues in your house. I have a guy who's a great pest referral guy. Can I give him your name? That's really key. Now, let's say I'm at the networking event and there's a pest insect removal or repellent company, right? Then I can look at that person and go, hey, this is my friend who I know was just having this problem. They said it's okay for you to give them a call if you'd like to. I would recommend that's the better way to give a referral. And the reason for it is because it lets the person who runs the business know that you really are giving them a referral, that you really have talked to them about it. Even if the person that you mentioned doesn't take them, they still know that you mentioned their name. It's better for the kind of knowing, liking, and trusting that people prefer to do business with. So, second thing you should be looking for is someone to give a referral to. And I really do mean give it to them for them to follow up on. Third thing you should be looking for in every networking event. In every networking event is one person to give something to. Now, we talked about the one-on-one, we talk about the referral, but what I mean is if you have anything you can give that. It might be a referral. It might be a cup of coffee. It might be a piece of information that they had shared where you're like, ooh, I can help them with this. Find one person to help. Give them something. Whether it be just a piece of information. Hey, this is something that I did that helped solve some of that problem for me. It may be, hey, this is a book I read that I found really valuable. And if nothing else, just send an email to them later that week, maybe the next day, maybe a day after, and say, I was thinking about what we had talked about or what I had heard from you, and I think this book might be really valuable for you. I've already bought it. How can I get it to you? Find someone to give to. And the fourth thing that you should be looking for at every networking event, is a joint venture. A joint venture is the greatest way to actually grow both your company and their company. It is so much more effective than referrals will ever be. What a joint venture means is that you and I have agreed not to share referrals, but to share clients so that we can grow stronger together. Here's an example. Is if you are an accountant, if you are a business broker, and as a business broker or an accountant, you are doing business for other businesses. But you look at a few of them and you know they are committed to success, but they seem to be starting, struggling, or stuck. For you to reach out to them and say, can I put you in contact with my friend Brian? He runs Gorman Coaching. He's a profit strategist, and I think he could be really beneficial for you, right? Because you are intentionally sharing clients. Maybe even we've looked through the client list together and go, here are 10 clients that I think that we could be really beneficial for. Knowing that if I can work with them and expand their company, now you're a business broker, you have the ability to sell something than you didn't have before, or sell something at a higher return. If you're an accountant, right, you're doing more work for them, you're engaged with them. As an accountant, you may only be able to be in front of them once or twice a year. But if you're working with me and them, then I'm making sure to mention your name regularly. I'm keeping you committed to them, or we're doing events together so that your clients are seeing you as they're coming to a training that I may be providing. In fact, as soon as I get off of recording this, I'm going to be running out about 45 minutes away from here, and I'm going to be doing doing a speaking and a teaching at a client appreciation event where one business has brought all their clients together for a big golfing day, and they do some sort of fun food, drink type things, and they've brought me in to be able to teach and lead that time as just a way to engage well with them. Along the way, I'll be doing some business coaching and teaching as well. Beneficial for everybody. I may pick up a new lead or client from it, and they get to show appreciation to their clients and they get to be in front of their clients more often, right? That's a joint venture. A joint venture is when two companies make an absolute agreement together, may or may not have financial potential coming back directly from that, but they agree to do business and share clients together so that both companies expand. Those are the four things you need to be looking for at every networking event. Because when you're looking for someone to get together one on one with, someone to be able to give a referral to, someone to give some help to, and someone to set up a joint venture, that's an event absolutely worth going to. And in doing so, you have the capacity to show love and care and concern for all of these people in a language they understand. And you get to do it in such a way that also has the potential of benefit for you and your company, but in a way in which you want to show the kind of helpful person you can be, the kind of caring person you can be. It's showing the kind of culture that you want to be able to create. So, at your next networking event, be careful about making the two big mistakes: settling for referrals and trying to sell to the people in the room. And instead, work on selling through the people in the room by being someone who gives. If I can help you with specific steps along that way, or if you have other advice as to what you should be doing when you go to a networking event, drop it down in the comments or reach out to me directly at gormancoaching.com. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.